ago just to talk about some DeFi and Solana and some of the basics. And now I'm back on. I have a really interesting interview today, and I love it. I love the fact that getting these interviews with some really interesting cats in the crypto world, and everybody has a different take on everything that's happening. Crypto really inspires a lot of people to bring out the best in them, and it certainly has inspired me to learn a lot about finance and game theory and technology and programming and now audio and visual production. And it's also enabled me to learn how to work in a DAO. So I mean, the crypto gift keeps on giving every single day. And today I have the opportunity to talk to Sammy Snake. And Sammy Snake is a person of many talents that I've discovered. He was referred to me, and I hit him. Started researching what he's doing. He's heavy into the Wax blockchain, and he's building crypto games on top of using the Wax blockchain and NFTs. And two of those games are NovaRally and Oliveland, and they're blockchain-based games. And the more I dig in, the more crazy interesting it all is. And he's developed some kind of cult following, which is pretty amazing as well. And so, yeah, welcome Sammy Snake to the Eureka Street Crypto Hub morning show broadcast. I know that none of this is financial advice. We're all just having fun here, and that's what it's about, and just learning something new. So welcome, and I'll let you get started and say a little bit about how you got into all this.
Thanks for the great intro. Glad to be here. Yeah, so I've always been a big cryptocurrency fan. Always thought that it was a great idea. Struggled to explain it to people of why they would use it on a day-to-day basis, really for a long time, like up until like last year. Really, that I get that it's always like the digital money. Like sometimes you kind of invest in it, but I always sort of struggled to say like, hey, well, when would we actually use this type of thing? And the whole NFT explosion has kind of given an example, given me a couple of examples to say, hey, this stuff is actually fun. It's a hobby for a lot of people. Plus, you can play and earn, but also you can do really, really cool stuff. So the first thing I did is when I heard about Wax, I learned about NFTs. There was one major game called Alien Worlds, and in Alien Worlds, you own a land. Some people own a land, and people mine on the land and pay a commission for mining. And so I picked up a couple of lands as an experiment, and no one really mined there for a long time. And then eventually I gave out like free tools for the game so new players could mine, and they came to my land, and we kind of accidentally started a community. But then what really sort of triggered my interest in going beyond that and doing cool stuff is the fact that we sort of said to ourselves, what happens if I don't own the land? What about if we all own the land as a community? Can we fractionalize the land? And that was the first thing that we did. I found someone in my community that was a C++ programmer, very experienced, and wrote a smart contract essentially dividing all our virtual lands up, kind of like a real estate investment trust, except for virtual land. And the whole thing kind of escalated over a week, and we just, there was a few videos done about it, and we grew the community massively. And so we are all part owners of these virtual lands. These lands are worth quite a bit of money, like, a couple of $1,000s each. You don't want to go out and purchase one yourself. It's a big commitment, but a lot of people thought, well, by contributing little bits, that they can all be a part of it. So that was how I first sort of came into the Wax space, because we realized how easy and quick it was to spin up these smart contracts. And then now finally I had the thing to explain to people like, hey, a bunch of us liked this game but couldn't afford the expensive land. So we essentially formed a virtual real estate investment trust to invest in these lands, and it's all done on the smart contract, so you don't need to worry about anyone mishandling it.
Wow.
It's all executed automatically. Like you send in what the tokens that you want to contribute, and you get back an ownership token in return.
Okay.
And then you can see a big pie chart to say who owns what land. And that was really doing that kind of lit a fire on under me and said like, okay, well, what else can we do on this blockchain? And I've been coming up with a few game ideas for a while. Never really thought that I would ever pursue them, if I'm honest.
Okay.
But I was working on these deterministic systems that would maybe work on a blockchain game. But once I saw Wax and I saw how quickly we could do that for the virtual ownership, I thought, I could probably create a pretty good game also and see. So instead of getting my community to invest in a game that we play, why don't we create kind of our own game and take the best elements of what we like from other projects and take feedback from the community and make a game. And that idea is NovaRally. So that's my my child.
Okay. So you originally did this on Ethereum blockchain, is that correct? And then you saw Wax tools and you said, wait, I don't have to completely reinvent the wheel here.
I messed about a bit on OpenSea with some NFT pictures and things, but nothing too serious. I quickly realized that it didn't make sense unless you're a top tier artist.
Yeah.
And you're going to attract a few core buyers. It doesn't make sense to pay all the minting costs.
Yeah. I've put up a couple paintings just to experiment on OpenSeas, and yes, it's a pretty penny for sure.
So then I remember it. It was like there was an article or a post on the NFT subreddit or something, and it talked about Wax NFTs, and it had like 2 upvotes, no comments. And I remember seeing that and seeing this thing called Atomic Hub, and I looked at it and I was like, "What's this Wax thing?" And I was like, but then I went on, and then it kind of at first it didn't seem like much was there. It has a very budget look, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
When you look at it, it looks a bit budget. And then, so I kind of was like, and I kind of disregarded it. And then a few days later, I came back and had a proper look at it, and I was amazed at all the different actual features and how mature it was as an actual marketplace. And I sort of settled down and said, right, this is much more up my street, and I will start exploring and learning here. And then that spent a few months there, and then what happened is the Wax blockchain got a lot more popular after that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've sort of been helping people in my community who are brand new to the blockchain and helping them what I've learned. But even I'm relatively new. There's people in the Wax space that have been around for 1 or 2 years. I'm a baby compared to them, but I learn very quickly. And to be honest, I just love the blockchain. I love the community. I don't think other blockchains have as much of a core and close community between different projects and games as Wax, and it's kind of where I'm here, to stay for a while.
Yeah, Wax blockchain is, I've seen it around the street, for a while, and I just kind of, there's just so many blockchain projects out there in cryptocurrency. It's hard to just be like, all right, I want to devote the time to that. Just, one of 3,000 different projects. And so I just always put it on the back burner, and finally I kind of got to be able to look at it, and I was like, this is a really amazing entry point for people jumping into crypto and doing it through art and games. And you're demonstrating this through NovaRally. I mean, we can get into some of the technicals in Wax in a little bit, but I'd love for you to show us a little bit about NovaRally, the game that you've created using NFTs, and just kind of start it from there. Then we can branch in the how-to. But do you want to screen share, or do you?
Yes.
Okay.
So, 1 second. Let me just bring it up.
Okay.
So if I can share, I'll present.
All right.
Right. Let me just 1 second.
Yeah. While he's getting on to that, NovaRally is a game where you buy drivers and cars, and every little car and driver has their own unique characteristics. I mean, the closest thing that I can kind of compare that to from my recent experience, and I'm sure he'll have some more input on this, is I did interview a couple weeks ago with CryptoFoo, and we talked talked about Avagachi and about all the Avagachis you get, and you have to maintain, and the characteristics and the accessories you can add on to to points and experience levels and things like that. What do you think about that? Is that somewhat of a fair comparison, or is it a lot different?
I think in general, it's like it's all about living and breathing NFTs. It's like, so 1 second. So I just yeah. So it's about getting attached to your NFTs and really using them and developing them over time. So I
Mm-hmm.
guess that it shares commonality with Avagotchi and those type of games. I do take slight inspirations from in that I want people to love their NFTs.
Yeah.
Like genuinely, I want them to grow attached.
Uh-huh.
So um,
Yeah, Avagotchi has the kinship factor. You have to basically feed
exactly,
your Avagotchi every
exactly.
day.
So as you said, it's a race simulation. So you pick a car, you pick two drivers, and you enter into a race, and it costs you fuel to enter the race. And you gain the fuel just simply by owning the NFTs. So we give you the fuel by owning the NFTs that will allow you to race. Um, so you pick the car, you pick two characters, and you enter into a race, usually of around 8 people, and the winner gets a prize. And those prizes are shards that you use to craft more cars, more characters, which allows you to race more often. And the end goal is for you to progress through what we have as known as leagues. So everyone starts at their NFTs at rookie, and I want you to take your NFTs all the way through to the master league. You get better prizes as you go through. So and the end of the season we have what's known as the world championship. So the best of the best are invited to an end of season race to get themselves in the Hall of Fame. So it's all about
Nice.
I want to kind of create, as silly as it sounds, I want to kind of create legacy within the game. I
Oh
plan
yeah.
this game to last for a number of different seasons. So there's a system called the NovaRally system that calculates the race results. That changes every single season. So no season is really the same.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the idea of seeing over these seasons, can you win, and how many wins are you going to get with your characters? Who's going to be your favorite characters? You're going to get them through the leagues, and then also so here's what I've talked about with the fuel. So depending on what league your characters are in,
The snake
you
oil.
gain different tokens. Snake oil, it makes me laugh. I
Yeah.
did it on purpose because people will always joke about, oh well, selling snake oil is a
That
scam.
boy's
I
a
just
snake
couldn't.
oil salesman.
Exactly, I couldn't resist that. This game is meant to be um, a lot of fun. It is a bit silly, and I want it to appeal to a lot of people. Um, and another one of the main cool features that I'm excited to do is I want to kill your NFTs as well. So this is called the Death Rally, and you enter. It happens once per day. You enter a car, two characters, and if you don't finish in the top 5%, your characters will die and be burned, and your car
Yes.
will be damaged.
I read that in the white paper. I read the entire white paper, by the way. And yes, your character dies and is completely burned. So if you're attached to that NFT, you're out of luck, man.
Yeah, so the thing is, it's rewarding the people that dare to dream. So that there will be people that go into the death rally, and when you win, you get these valuable NFTs. So you get trophies, you get invites to the end of season race, and you get what's called a driver's manual, which will allow you to promote one of your characters through the league um, a lot easier. So there's an incentive to do it, but I think some people will just enter just to say that they've won it. This is a big
Yeah.
achievement. If you manage to win the Death Rally, you were in a very small group of people. So I
Mm-hmm.
wanted some big achievement. Like me myself, like I would want to win a Death Rally. I know how the game works,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I'll still, if I saw a game like this, I would love to just say, like, I don't care. I know it's a play to earn game,
Yeah,
but
sure. I mean, I've dropped a lot of money on these online games before, buying gold and stuff like that, and we're all guilty of it, being like, oh man, if I could just it's one level more, I only need 200 more gold left. So I know
Yeah.
it's okay.
So, and then it's about okay. Well, the racing is this cheap thing that brings in all of the users, and there's going to be like lots of different mini games within the game to keep people interested and reward people for playing on the same account. So this is an example of a mini game called it's called Mechanic Mastermind.
Okay.
And you basically what you do is there's 3 different positions, and you need to each week a user has an ideal combination that would earn them the most amount of points. So this character might be the best of head of research this week. This character might be the best crash dummy. But so you get a set amount of attempts, and you test your luck. And each time you do it, your attempt, you get a score back, and you learn something. So you learn, actually, that character doesn't seem to be good in the first position. I'll try him in a different position. So each attempt, you learn something. And the idea is throughout the week, you're meant to improve on your score until you reach your final score. And if your score is high enough, you'll be able to build a car.
Okay. So each character has different attributes that work well in certain situations, and then it's only through kind of a process of iterations that you can kind of, by trial and error, figure it out, right?
Yeah. So for this game mode, it's specific to the user. So we couldn't collaborate. I couldn't give you tips on who's good this week because it's completely different for you and me. But it's something else to do when you're in the system. I should have probably mentioned, actually, I want to go back a bit.
Okay.
Because I forgot to mention a very key element of the actual game, which is these characters. You might wonder, well, what influences the result of the race?
Yeah.
Each character has a hidden perk that gets activated and allows them to take shortcuts.
Oh.
And that improves their time. So it's about figuring out which characters work well together and which do not.
Okay. And you're not aware of these perks beforehand until you figure it out? Is that what it is?
Yeah. So over the season, it's like one big puzzle to see, can you work out? And I don't mind if people, really go like Moneyball and go statistical models and stuff. Do what you want, but
well, what's to stop somebody who's all money bags coming in and just taking over? How does the game theory work out in that type of situation?
So in terms of every time the first 10 races are at base cost of 10,000 snake oil. Every race after that, it goes up for like 20%. So even if you were a massive player in the game, it would cost you a lot to race hundreds and hundreds of times. So you'll still be limited in that regard.
Okay.
So that's how we aim to do it. And we aim to so there's another feature that the idea of the garages. So there's 4 manufacturers in this game of each of the cars, and you can decide which you want to spend your extra resources on to upgrade, and that unlocks different play styles. So maybe you would want to try and finish last in a race instead of first. Maybe you would like to do enter some more characters into the death rally, or have less chance of dying in the death rally. Like maybe that's the death rally is really why you play. So it's offering fun stuff for people to do if they stick and play on the same accounts and try and reward it. We do have a system in which we can ban people and stop them transferring their assets if they are cheating or using multiple accounts. But
yeah, I did see
obviously you want to try and incentivize people the other way, and this is one of the ways. We also have something that's going to be relevant for the second season of the game called racetrack pieces. So players will use their excess fuel to rather than me sell the racetrack pieces to the players and charge them more money. And I could do that, and I could probably make a lot of money, but I don't want to do that.
Yeah, so, that would compromise the game, though, and the fun of it. So.
Yeah, so I want to give the token a bit of value, so you'll be able to spend your excess fuel tokens on these racetrack pieces, which will give you an advantage in the next season. So the players will come together and use their individual pieces and construct a racetrack in which everyone will race on for season 2. So it's about thinking ahead and giving people lots of different options. So
Yeah, I
it's
did
all
see
very,
that.
it's all very ambitious.
Yeah, that the community could all join their snake oil together and create their own track, which is pretty incredible. How does somebody create their own track? Do they, you know, I mean, collaboratively? I understand how one person can sit there and go into some modeling software and make a track, but how do you do it with so many cooks in the kitchen?
So I think for the second season, because it's early days yet, what we will do is we'll have like a collection of pre-designed tracks. So all they wanted to contribute to which one that they feel they like the best.
Okay.
And they'll have like a grid, and it'll tell you what's still needed, and you just place your track piece on that grid and register. So I think that's the
Cool.
way that it'll be done. But
Okay.
I would love to have a system, maybe season 3, where we just let the players have free reign as long as it's about a legal racetrack. You go nuts.
Yeah, yeah, that could get pretty rowdy for sure. I also wanted, we're 9 minutes left. I wanted to talk about Oliveland. There's so much here in NovaRally we can talk about, but Oliveland is amazing too. And
So
yeah,
let me talk about that a bit.
yeah,
So Olive Land is an ecological farming project, but it's also got some gamification elements.
okay,
Right? So the project is a bit out there. It's a bit out there, but we are essentially together building an olive tree farm in northern Cyprus. And the construction has already started. It was funded through the selling of NFT packs, which contained individual trees sort of representing 1 square foot of land here. So this is phase 1. And
so this is real land and real trees and real property that you're talking about. This is not in the metaverse, correct?
yeah, this is real. So if I just want to show you the Olive Land the page, because it really brings it home.
Yeah.
A couple of months ago, this was just land. This was just land with nothing on it. Now at least we've got a fence. We've got a little bit of shelter for them to work in the heat, and they're doing. It's very early days, but all of this is being funded by the NFT sales, and it's actually beginning. We're going to have a live stream up soon where people, if they really want, can watch the construction in real time.
Yeah.
But it's a project that obviously takes a lot of time to get to this level where it all
Sure.
looks like this, looks nice. So what we've done is we have a system where each of these trees is an NFT
Okay.
in a virtual land. So we give tokens to holders of these trees, and then up to 3 times a day they can dig underneath their plot, and they can dig up prizes.
Okay.
So and we're doing a big launch stream on the 28th where we've got all of our favorite projects from around the Wax blockchain, our upcoming projects, and we've buried them in a smart contract.
Okay.
And the user pays the tokens and they dig things up. It's very, very cool. So they've got something to do and a sort of game to play that we're going to build on while they wait for this real life farm to be constructed.
Yeah, and that kind of provides the daily upkeep in a way that you've done with your other game as well, NovaRally, and kind of going back to Avagachi, the whole concept of kinship, taking care of your NFT. Is that kind of the same principle? Okay. Wow. And so what happens when the olives are harvested and things go to market and
So the percentage of the profits is then redistributed back to, depending on how many trees you own, you will receive a percentage of those profits.
Okay, and that's real live profits. So
Yeah.
it's literally a yield farm.
Yeah, yeah, it is. So those profits will probably be delivered in wax to the users, and then they can do whatever they like with it. And there's going to be not just the olive trees. There's going to be lavender, honey, blackberries, because of olive trees obviously take longer. So
Uh-huh. And did
the
I
idea
read
is,
correctly? Beekeeping?
yes.
Wow. Yeah, this is truly amazing. One of a kind as far as I know from my experience. So, do you have connections over in Cyprus? For those of you who don't know,
So
Cyprus is south of Turkey, west of Sudan and Jordan, I believe, or Syria and Jordan, right? Yeah, not Sudan,
yes.
Syria and Jordan.
So it was suggested. So after I talked about the fractionalization of a virtual land,
Uh huh.
a member of my community said that he owned a lot of land in Cyprus and was an experienced farmer and knew a lot about olive trees, and he always wanted to do an olive farm, and he was thinking of getting a loan to start the farm, and then he suggested, well, is there any way we could do it via NFT, similar to how you've done it for this virtual land in Alien Worlds? And I said, what we'll do is we'll do a very small sale. We'll explain about the project and see what people think, because I'm not sure how it'll be received. The thing is, the thing sold out in a minute. Like, there was a huge demand for this. I wasn't sure if people would go, really. The same type of people that are playing these games, would they be the same type of people to sort of contribute to a real life
Yeah.
farm? And apparently, yes, there's lots of people. We've got a great community.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, that's the
so
amazing thing about NFTs. I mean, it started out as art, but it's blockchain, and it kind of gets all these unusual suspects in the same room together. And then once you start getting a bunch of people from different walks of life and different viewpoints together talking about the same technology, then ideas start to blend. I mean, I bet you never thought you would have been involved in an olive farm before in Cyprus, right?
No, I would have never have thought. And people are skeptical, and they are right to be skeptical. I know that these type of things have maybe been done in the past, and the guy has run off. So before I put it out to any people in my community, I did the research. I had to look at the title deed for the land. I looked at the business plan. I looked at they've got so many measures in case anything happens to the owner. It's all done very professionally, and it's very organized. And I'm glad that I know the guy well enough now
Yeah.
that it gives me full confidence that that we're actually going to build something, and that people are going to be part of something historic, really.
Yeah.
Like, there's going to be, when we achieve this, there's going to be a lot of news articles about this.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and people can say, like, look at what we did with NFTs. Like, and already I've heard of a few people, once they've seen this, of kind of wanting to go down a similar route. The only thing is, I just hope that these projects are a success, because it's like,
Yeah.
with yield farming in crypto, you're going to get a certain percentage of returns. With real farming, maybe you've got a bad year, a bad harvest.
I mean, there's blockchain solutions for that, decentralized crop insurance and all that. So
exactly. So who knows? But this is definitely something a bit different that I'm excited to be a part of.
And I've read up a little bit on it too, and they even say you can go there, you can visit the farm, just bring your own tent and pitch a tent there on the land, and check it out for yourself.
So we're thinking of hosting like a community conference or event next year in Cyprus. So there's some nice hotels like 10-15 minutes away.
Nice.
For people that don't want to camp like me.
Yeah.
And we're going to meet all these incredible people as part of our community, and that have bought the NFTs, and we're going to have a good time, go and see the land and learn about the olive trees in Cyprus.
Yeah.
And it's something that I think in a few years you'll look back and think, oh my God, it's incredible, incredible experience.
What the hell did we just do? Yeah. So Cyprus is pretty crypto friendly, right? As far as regulations are concerned.
Well, yeah. I mean, all of this has been endorsed by the government that control Northern Cyprus. So they signed off on this big water supply that's going to supply all the water to all of the plants here. They think the idea is fantastic. So the agricultural minister himself will be down there, cutting the red ribbon, so we say, to open it up.
Wow. Wow.
So
Stuff like this gives me hope for humanity and a high level of optimism. And I love that the fact that you're jumping into this project and that you're not just doing games and blockchain games, which is great, and then art. And it's amazing, to promote that type of stuff, but also these real life projects like this where you can show people who aren't into art and gaming, like, look, man, this is more than this is a huge world. Just come on in. Yeah, I appreciate what you're doing. One last thing I wanted to touch on before we leave is the wax token and staking on that, and how you get to go about jumping in all this. Would you mind talking a little bit about that?
Sure. So wax is a pretty nice onboarding process compared to a lot of blockchains. So you kind of get like a five letter and number identifier. And how do you get that? Well, it's very simple. You just click login, and you click Wax Cloud Wallet, and you can use any social sign-in. So like Google, Twitter,
Yep.
Discord, Telegram. So I signed up with my Gmail, and it generated this address, which is my address for life. Now you can create other addresses, but that's it. And this is called the Wax Cloud Wallet. And you go on this thing called Atomic Hub, and you've got this very nice, and you can see what the top selling collections are if you want to get in. So if you see,
okay, NovaRally wax,
the NovaRally collection, you can buy some cars, some characters. And what Wax are doing now is when you sign up for an account, what they do is they allow you to do 10 transactions sort of free a day.
Okay.
Right? And then all you need to do is take some of the wax that you've been using, or some of the wax that you've got from selling your NFTs, and you stake it. So you don't lose it. You don't pay any fees. It's just staked. It's kind of locked up. It takes 3 days to unstake, and that allows you to do more transactions. So, and then, so let's say if I'm playing a lot of games, I'm doing a lot of transactions, I've got some wax stake to take care of it. Let's say later down the line, I'm actually busy. I don't have as much time to play the games. I could unstake that wax and use it for buying stuff. So you're very flexible. Whereas if you're on a fee-based blockchain, you pay the fees and they're gone.
Yeah. Ethereum, you do anything on Ethereum, it's high gas fees for one, and then two, that's burned, it's done, it's out of your wallet.
Yeah. So what I love about Wax is how easy it is to set up. It took me 5 minutes to set my dad up an account and give him some NovaRally NFTs.
Wow.
Right? And that's fantastic, and he'll be able to race, and that's fine. Now, and for him, he's not going to be racing that much, so those 10 transactions a day for free will probably do him well. But then what I get, though, the next step is a learning curve in that you go onto you go onto the Wax Cloud Wallet dashboard, and it does need to get a little bit easier for users, but the idea is that you have these resources and you stake a little bit more to increase your maximum number of transactions per day. So this actually resets after 24 hours.
Okay.
So you can do all these transactions, and then over time it will reset. So you can go and you can say, hey, I'm playing a lot more games at the moment, so I need to stake a little 100 more. So
nice. So you just kind of pre-reserve.
The only thing I don't like is it gets a bit confusing for a user. They don't want to see like this.
Yeah.
This little dashboard, CPU netting around. Like I genuinely, and we shouldn't really laugh because it's a valid question, is that people were asking me when they joined the Wax blockchain is, so this is using a lot of CPU on my computer, is that safe?
Yeah.
And then you explain to them that no, it's nothing to do with your computer. This is just network resources on the Wax blockchain. And then they kind of look at you with a blank stare, So it's not. No, I don't think any blockchain's got it perfect right
Mm-hmm.
now. I feel like that's the next step for Wax. It's got these like very functional, very user-friendly interface. It's got a good onboarding process where you can sign up, but
Mm-hmm.
and they do give you the 10 transactions now for free, and they enable games to pay
Mm-hmm.
all the transaction fees for users if they want to. And that's something we'll look at doing for NovaRally to try and avoid, because I don't want my everyday casual users coming here and having to work it out.
Sure.
They don't
Yeah,
want
I
to be
mean,
doing
I
that.
saw an article that drew an analogy of between CPU net and a RAM as airplane tickets, the seats, and then the airport. And then maybe if they could just switch around the words instead of saying CPU net and RAM, because I mean, you're right. I honestly thought it was, CPU and RAM. I don't want it to use all my RAM. I got other stuff going on. Yeah. So yeah, you're absolutely right. They should change that over. And that article that explained it as the airplane ticket seats and the airport itself. So yeah, that's a much better. Maybe you could think of some better language. I don't know. But
Yeah, it's definitely. But once you get what I find is once you get people in the Wax ecosystem, they stick around. They really do, and they really enjoy themselves.
yeah,
Like when they play these blockchain games, they see the potential. Like we've seen insane growth on all of these blockchain games, and within my community, it grew up very quickly.
yeah,
But realistically, we're only still a fraction of what's considered mainstream. Like I think the biggest game on Wax maybe has like 8,000 people. I'm not really counting Alien
wow,
Worlds, but let's say 8,000 people. Whereas like my DeFi Pets, an upcoming game on Binance Smart Chain, has 145,000 active players daily.
man,
So
wow, okay,
but it confuses me because sometimes I use Binance Smart Chain and I really don't like the experience yet.
yeah.
So I feel like that the best way to get people onto these blockchains is to have these killer apps. So I hope with NovaRally that NovaRally will be so fun and so popular that people will come to the Wax blockchain just to play this game.
Yeah, NovaRally is super clean. I love the graphics and the whole idea behind it, and the snake oil and everything like that. You got a cool name, Sammy Snake. So yeah, I think it's going to be successful. So what next with it?
Well, so we are starting the first racing, what's called the stress test. So we're going to really stress the blockchain and see how many races we can do in an hour and 2 hours, and make some notes and make some technical improvements. And that's happening this week. So that'll be the first chance for users to get their hands on the UI of the game, like log in, select their characters, do the racing, and also be the first. They'll be able to actually see the wins get recorded on the profile. So one of my favorite things about this game is we've got these mutable attributes. When this Optimus wins his first race, he'll get a win on here that people can see
Oh, cool.
how many wins it's got, how many races he's taken part in. So all the statistics of your NFT sit here. I'm a big statistics man.
Mm-hmm.
I love to look at my NFTs and think, hey, how many wins have I got on here? What's my win percentage? And things like that.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I grew up, collecting, garbage pail kids and baseball cards and stuff like that. And on the back, you have all the stats. So I can definitely resonate with, looking at the stats and being a statistics person like you. So that's awesome. That you've made all that available. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it's going to be really big and garner a lot of attention and popularity, and I think you're on the right track. I wish nothing but success for this, and I think it's man. I'm just fortunate, and I'm glad that you took the time out to have an interview with me. I'm just a small fry, but we're all all the ships are rising together with the tide, right?
Exactly. It's all about the community, and no matter who the people are, I'll speak to anyone.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I just enjoy speaking about Wax blockchain. You can't shut me up most of the time.
Well, that's awesome, man. You've made me a believer, so yeah, I'm down. All right. Well, that being said, let me go ahead and start my outro music. I got a nice little reggae tune here. I appreciate you coming on and taking the time once again. This will be replayed on well, it'll be posted up on YouTube, and it'll be put on Odyssey and BitChute as well. And if this was broadcasted live on Theta Network, if you haven't joined Theta, Theta is a decentralized streaming platform, and it has its own blockchain, the Theta blockchain as well, so you can earn the T-Fuel. While I'm not sponsored by Theta, by the way, and I'm not sponsored by anybody. I just love talking about the things that I like this, and I appreciate Sammy coming on and talking about NovaRally, Oliveland, talking about his experience with it, and then talking about the Wax blockchain. Anything else you want to say before we sign off?
No, just thanks for having me. And maybe we can catch up again when the game is launched.
Right
I'd love
on.
to do it.
Okay. And don't forget to claim your POAPs. Sammy has 50 and I have 50. So get your POAPs. All right. Just send us a message. We'll send you a link. There's only 100 of them. All right. Bye.
See you.
That was amazing. Every time I do an interview, I'm blown away by everything, something new that I learn. I'm super stoked. NovaRally, I will be jumping in it. This looks like a really fun game. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the interview, and I will talk to you tomorrow. All right, bye.